New research reveals that for single adults in their 30s and 40s, cohabitation has quietly surpassed marriage as the primary goal for the future. A recent study published in the journal Family Transitions challenges the traditional narrative of family planning. The research highlights a significant demographic shift among unmarried adults in their 30s and 40s. In the United States, roughly 1 in 3 adults between the ages of 30 and 40. 9 currently live without a spouse or partner. This number is growing as people delay milestones like first marriages and first births. Currently, about 1 in 5 adults in their early 40s have never married. Additionally, almost 1 in 6 women in their late 40s do not have children. Sociologist Susan L. Brown, Wendy D. Manning, and Karen Benjamin Guzzo of Bowling Green State University and the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill initiated this study to understand the long-term relationship and parenting goals of this expanding demographic. The findings indicate that previous life events shape what people want for their future. This challenges the idea of a universal relationship path that we often assumed was the default for everyone. Past research on family planning has heavily focused on teenagers and young adults, who often express a desire to marry and have children. Alternatively, researchers have studied older adults who are frequently uninterested in re-entering a formal union. Adults in early midlife occupy a unique transitional space because many have already experienced milestones like marriage, living with a partner, or having children. The research team applied a sociological framework known as the life course perspective. This concept suggests that prior life events establish a foundation that guides an individual's subsequent choices. For example, a person who has already navigated a divorce might view the prospect of a new marriage differently than someone who has never wed. A related concept highlights how family relationships influence personal decisions. The answer that came back most often from the hundreds of single adults surveyed wasn't marriage, wasn't staying single, and wasn't uncertainty. It was cohabitation. The study reveals that people are not starting from a blank slate. The life course perspective suggests that our past experiences create a specific foundation for our future decisions. If you have already navigated a divorce, you might view the prospect of a new marriage differently than someone who has never wed. The research found that these adults hold highly diverse goals for future relationships. Some want to remarry, some prefer to cohabitate without the legal ties. Others are focusing on parenting or career stability. The findings indicate that previous life events shape what people want for their future. This challenges the idea of a universal relationship path. We used to think everyone followed the same script. Now we see that the script is highly personalized based on what you have already lived through. This diversity is not a crisis. It is a reflection of a complex reality. The community reaction to these findings was immediate and sharp. One commenter pointed out that the study confirms that experience leads to change. Another joked about choosing to step on the same rake every single time. Many readers agreed that the idea of a universal relationship path was always a bit of a myth. A commenter noted that once you hit your 30s to 45 range, a good portion of your friends have been through some terrible divorces. You learn a lot from watching. Others shared that surviving toxic relationships, or living with the decisions their parents made impacted their own views. One person mentioned that their mother had 3 failed marriages, which made them less interested in seeing if they could do any better. The consensus seems to be that we are less naive than previous generations about what marriage entails. It is important to distinguish between the different groups within this demographic. The article is differentiating between single people who eventually want to get married versus people who want to cohabitate permanently. This is a crucial distinction. Nothing about whether the former group is against cohabitating prior to marriage. Many people who still want to marry are choosing to live together first. While true, this runs very counter to Puritan conservative courting ideals. Cohabiting before marriage is akin to sex out of wedlock in a lot of circles. It is equally pearl clutching among fundamentalists. However, the data shows that this is becoming the norm. The study suggests that we are moving away from a one-size-fits-all model. We are moving toward a model where your past dictates your future preferences. This is not a rejection of commitment, it is a refinement of it. The broader implication of this research is the end of the universal path. We used to assume that everyone wanted the same thing. We assumed that marriage was the inevitable destination. Now we see that cohabitation is more popular than marriage as a goal for this specific demographic. The findings indicate that previous life events shape what people want for their future. This is a massive sociological shift. It means that policy and social support need to account for this diversity. We cannot treat all single adults in their 30s and 40s as a monolith. Some are waiting for the right partner, some are content with their current partner, some are focused on their children. The answer that came back most often wasn't marriage, wasn't staying single, and wasn't uncertainty. It was a desire for a relationship that fits their current reality. This is a more mature approach to love and partnership. So what does this mean for the future of relationships? It means that we are entering an era of personalized partnership. The universal path is gone. In its place is a diverse landscape of goals and desires. For single adults in their 30s and 40s, cohabitation has become a primary goal. This is not a failure to marry. It is a choice based on experience. The research confirms that our past shapes our future. If you have been hurt, you might choose cohabitation. If you are happy, you might choose marriage. If you are unsure, you might choose to wait. The key is that there is no single right answer. The findings indicate that previous life events shape what people want for their future. This is a liberating idea. It means that your relationship path is yours to define. It is not defined by a script. It is defined by your life. Thanks for watching Orbit Reports. If you found this breakdown of modern relationship trends insightful, please like and subscribe. We will see you on the next mission.